so we could have knowledge of self and stay happy and peaceful. He is Swami Swaroopananda ji. Swami ji has a spiritual inclination since childhood, and during his adolescence he met the preeminent master of the Vedanta, Swami Chinmayananda ji. He has undergone intensive training under Swami Chinmayananda ji and Swami Tejomayananda ji at Sandeepani, Mumbai. He has touched thousands of lives across the world, and his tremendous work in bringing out the essential wisdom and underlying unity of all religions. Swami Swaroopananda ji is a rare voice that blends authenticity with accessibility theory, with self-practice, logic with heart. Presently Chancellor of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth Trust and Chairman of Chinmaya International Residential School in Coimbatore, India. Swami Swaroopananda ji has now been bestowed by Swami Tejomayananda ji the privilege to also serve as the head of Chinmaya Mission worldwide. Swami ji has authored several commentaries on such important spiritual classics as Ek Onkar, Mahamrityunjay Mantra, Sankat Mochan, besides numerous books on commentaries, lifestyle subjects such as simplicity and meditation, Storm to Perform, Avatar, Managing the Manager, and Journey to Health. So with a warm welcome, let's listen his words of wisdom.
Namaste and greetings to all of you on this special occasion of the International Yoga Day. Apparently, when we look into this world, we see differences, we make distinctions, we have our likes, dislikes, preferences. We see a world of diversity, and in that world of diversity, we find ourselves separated, isolated, lonely, and from there arises the sense of insecurities, sorrow, craving, selfishness, all these that go to make our minds agitated. We all have something common that unifies all of us. Even if we think, what is it that we all commonly want? Is it not that all of us want happiness and peace? In fact, we don't only want for ourselves, we want it for everyone. That's why on special occasions, we send greetings to people, wishing them a happy birthday, happy new year. We have peace conferences for peace in the world, but very often with every peace conference, we make one more piece of the world. We all want that peace and happiness. But in life, we hold on to everything that gives us sorrow, that produces agitations in our mind. The very word yoga, which means union, or that which unites us to the supreme goal, that is the infinite consciousness, that which is the source of unending happiness and peace, is yoga. And this yoga is attained, really speaking, through knowledge, because it is due to our ignorance that we do not see that obvious existence consciousness that binds us all together in that oneness. But the mind, when ignorant and extroverted, sees the world of distinctions and differences, such a mind remains ever distracted, agitated, and such a mind is not a contemplative and meditative meditative mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna, Yogeshwara Krishna, the Lord of all yogas, that teacher, that supreme master, has pointed out very clearly what yoga is. And he says that your mind is your best friend, and your mind is your deadliest enemy. That mind which is in your mastery, which is in the state of yoga, union with your higher self, that mind which leads you to it is your best friend. And it is this mind only that leads you to sorrow, bondage, agitation, grievances, hatred, jealousies, conflict, wars. And that mind is your worst enemy. Therefore, all practices of yoga is to master this mind and make this mind abide in the supreme self, the self which is the same consciousness in every one. Philosophy calls it as truth. Science speaks about it as reality. Religion calls it as God. Not a common understanding of certain concepts or beliefs, but that infinite cause, because of which everything exists, that infinite cause, because of which we live, we function, which is that common thread that binds all our experiences and thoughts into a necklace, as well as is the underlying substratum of the entire universe. That which is the very essence of each and every one of us, the very heart. That is what is called as God. To bring this mind from its diverse extrovertedness, its likes, dislikes, cravings, to calm this mind and make it single pointed in and through every action and endeavor in our life is what is called as yoga. Not any particular practice, but all those practices that help us to master our mind and make the mind abide in our true, peaceful, infinite self, which is the same self, the same God in everyone. That which unites us in this oneness That is called as yoga. And to bring that mind to abide in the self through the various practices from our day to day actions to all our religious spiritual practices, through all our yama, niyamas, asanas, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, to the highest state of meditation, is to bring this mind to become silent in the truth, in the self, in the infinite consciousness. One who can master his or her mind is the master of the universe, no longer a victim of circumstances, but the master of all situations. Win the mind, win the world, is what the great masters, spiritual masters, have declared. But to conquer this mind is not that easy, because it has enslaved us throughout our life with its delusions, its fancies, its false expectations, its regrets of the past, its anxieties for the futures, its excitements in the present. Therefore, past is also tense, present is also tense, future is also tense. To master this mind, not to suppress this mind, for it is so powerful, it blows off like an explosion, but to calm this mind and make this mind single pointed. It is not by force, but a very, very powerful means. Because when your opponent is very powerful, it is not only with strength and power you can conquer, but that which conquers all easily, to whom everyone just surrenders and melts. Everyone's mind instantly becomes calm, instantly becomes focused, and abides in it. And that powerful force, that powerful means, that which unites and therefore is yoga, is love. And when love is directed towards that which is supreme, supreme means that which is infinite, that which is everything and everyone, and supreme love, which means complete identification with the beloved. And you know, the moment love enters your heart, even for one person, your mind is immediately filled with all noble thoughts, virtues, kindness, compassion, sharing, giving, selflessness. Immediately the mind is filled with joy and happiness. Supreme love is when there is complete identification with the beloved, where two don't remain as two, they become one. It's not you and me, it's us. Where the love is directed towards something which is higher, not one out of the many, but the one who is the many. It is called as devotion. Thus, when you love your parents and therefore begin to love all your siblings rather than fight over my toy, my possession, we're reminded that common factor that brings us together. If you love your parents, you love your siblings. You love your country, you love your fellow countrymen. You love humanity. You love every person. You love every creature of the universe. When you love that which is the many, in whose love you begin to love the many. And even when there is love for one person, the heart is full of such virtues, such nobility, such joys, such dynamic action, that when love is for the Supreme, then it not only brings out the best in us, but we recognize that which is the best that makes all of us. How do we develop this devotion? This path of love is beautiful from the beginning to the end. It is everyone, even animals, have love in them. Only we have to dare to open up our hearts to love. At this moment, we may not be able to love everyone around us. At least not the bad and the evil. But love transcends all qualities. Love transcends all limitations. Love makes everything beautiful. And love makes us see beyond the superficial differences the beauty that lies in each and every one of us. And love brings out that beauty from everyone. When this love is there for the Supreme, for God, and in that God which we recognize is there in each and every one, that is not the God that creates wars and conflicts. That love for the Supreme is devotion. And how can we have that love? That devotion which is called as Bhakti. And Bhakti itself is yoga. Love is that which unites. In love, when we get integrated, and in love, when we find that union and oneness with the supreme peace, the supreme bliss, the supreme being, the supreme love, that is called as bhakti or devotion. And how do we cultivate? By keeping the company of those holy saints, sages. If not their direct company, then the company through their literature, through their books. Listen to the stories and glories of these devotees. Keep the company of devotees, because primarily love comes when we meet someone who can unconditionally give love. Our faith in love comes. We experience that love in our hearts. Listen. Listen to the glories of the Supreme. Love develops when we are ready to do something for the beloved. When we are ready to serve. And when we serve with love, There is such a joy in the action itself that all wants, desires, and expectations become insignificant in the very joy of giving, sharing, loving with love. And when we love that one from whom we have gained everything, from even now from the world, if we are getting, it is from that Lord only. Seeing that one and ever ready to do all our actions as a dedication to that Lord, where every action becomes a worship, where every action the mind becomes calm, every action becomes efficient. That is called as the state of yoga. Equanimity of mind, samatvam yoga uchyate. Efficiency and dexterity in action is yoga. When the mind remains balanced in every situation without likes and dislikes. And where there is love, see how likes, dislikes, expectations end, and there is acceptance and surrender. When there is acceptance and surrender, that moment the mind becomes calm. Where there is love, there is single pointedness. There is dedication. The mind remains ever dedicated. The mind remains ever concentrated and focused because you cannot think of anyone other than the beloved. When the mind is distracted, bring the mind again to think about the name of the Lord, the mantra of the Lord. Mantra japa. This is constantly repeating. And when we constantly remember someone, love intensifies. So much so that the mind thinks only of the beloved, and in that, all its vagaries fizzle off, and the mind dissolves in that bliss to identify with that supreme, that state of unity, of oneness is love. That is yoga. Wish you this union. Wish the world this unity and well-being. And we recognize this one united consciousness in each one of us in love. Hari.
I am very grateful to Swami Swaroopananda ji for sharing his insights and blessing us through his message. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you so very much.